Welcome back. This is ADWCTA, and we are doing the Festival of Legends card review. I got some water. I am powering through. We have done all of the cards that you should really care about in neutral, and now we're on to the bad cards. So we're going to start with D plus tier, move on to D tier, and then do F plus and F tier. D plus is right below a Yeti. If you remember, the Yeti tier is right between D plus and C. So all these are like slightly below Yeti. First card is Air Guitarist. Air Guitarist is a 1 mana 1 1 battle cry. Give your weapon +1 durability. So if you are a weapon class, this is a D plus. If you're not a weapon class, obviously this is total crap. Uh, Weapons are good. Giving it 1 more durability is good. 1 mana 1 1s are bad. I mean, you're not happy with this card if you have to take it. Next card is Annoying Fan. Another 1 mana common neutral, 1 mana 1 2 mech. Battle cry, choose a minion. It can't attack while this is alive. In case anyone thinks this is like a really good card for some reason, because it could like permanently freeze something. It can't. Like, we're in a standard meta. Something with 2 health is going to get removed by like anything and everything. It does mean that you have to like it takes a target, right? Like it takes a hit. And a 1 mana 1 2 is like kind of okay stat wise for a 1 mana. Um but yeah, it's just there to like make the opponents a little more awkward for a turn. So you don't really want this in your deck either. But it's not like it does nothing. Once you get to like the D's, like once you get past the D pluses into the D's, you really have cards that do nothing or like usually hurt you more than it helps. This is like it's still doing something, right? Like this is where like River Croc is. Like these cards have a purpose in your deck. It's not a great purpose. It'll never win you the game. It's there are cards that are just like better than these cards by like so much, and they're everywhere. But these cards aren't like destroying your deck. All right, next one is Frequency Oscillator, another common 1 mana card. 1 mana 2 1 mech. Battle cry, the next mech you play costs 1 less. Like 1 mana 2 1s are not things these days. 1 mana cards have gotten way better. But you're going to have mechs. Not only are there mechs in this set, but the standard, the core rotation has brought back a bunch more mechs. There's magnetic. Like mechs are going to be a thing going forward, basically, in any kind of standard meta. And so 0 mana 2 1 or like a banked mana to play later and then the 2 1, that's okay. So that's all this is. This is a playable 1 drop. Again, these are not good. You're not happy with these. Cover Artist. Cover Artist is the next D plus card. This one is a epic card. 4 mana, 3/3, battle cry, transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion. So it will always be a 3/3. You can target your own minions, you can target your opponent's minions, but you basically take their death rattle or their ability or whatever. There's plenty of good abilities out there, but this does cost 4 mana, so and it will always only be a 3/3. Which means if it's a permanent ability rather than a death rattle, it probably has less health than whatever you're copying. Like if you're copying a pyrotechnician, for example, that's pretty good. The pyrotechnician ability is really good, but a pyrotechnician is a 2/5. This guy is always going to be a 3/3. And you gotta wait, right? You gotta wait till your opponent plays it. Or if you have played it, why do you need to copy it? Right? So most of the time it'll be copying some kind of death rattle. D plus. All right. Next, we have a legendary. So, by the way, they're the 5 legendaries. We probably haven't covered this an overall thing, but the 5 legendaries, we did 2 already that are B. This one's going to be B plus. There's one more that sorry, this one's going to be D plus. There's one more that's D, and one is not going to be in the arena at all because it's already out of the arena. Its ability requires deck building stuff, and that is ETC Band Manager. So that's confirmed not in the arena. So the neutral legendaries being added in this set, really not good. Like, this is probably the weakest set ever for neutral legendaries, which is good because paparazzi's coming, but it doesn't make up for the fact that there's been plenty of sets in the last couple of expansions that have really good legendary neutrals. Okay, so this one is Photographer Fizzle. Photographer Fizzle is a D plus. It's a 3-mana 3/3 battlecry. Take a snapshot of your current hand and shuffle it into your deck. The Fizzle Snapshot is the card that goes into your deck. It's a 2-mana spell that just adds all the cards that was in your hand, like a copy of it, back into your hand. But you're shuffling it in your deck. You don't really have ways in the arena to consistently draw it. You're not digging that deep into your deck in the arena usually. So it's like a nice little bonus, but otherwise it's just a 3-mana 3/3. Okay, and that is it for the D plus cards. These are, remember, these are below Yeti cards, but they're still kind of playable and won't destroy your deck. Now you're moving on to the D cards. D cards are cards that I don't understand why they exist. Like any card that's D or below, okay. So normally when a card is like an F tier card or something, it's because it's so heavily synergistic or doing something totally crazy that just doesn't apply to arena, right? So it's like F, it doesn't do much in arena. D tier cards are like just bad. So like I don't know, there's got to be some combo that like makes these amazing in standard or whatever. But then why are they neutral? Like it's crazy to me. So one of the D tier cards is Stereo Totem. 2-mana, 0/3 totem. At the end of your turn, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. Like, okay, so you get +2/+2 because it's going to live to the end of your turn. It's in a random minion in your hand. You can never control it. And then it's probably dead the next turn. But if it's not, you get another +2/+2 in your hand. Like, yeah, it's only 2 mana. And it does take 3 damage to die, and you don't really want to like use some kind of removal on it or anything. So maybe it'll survive an extra turn, but like you can't play it at the end because you won't have minions in your hand, at least not for long. And it's not really a 2-drop because the randomness means you don't know when you're actually getting the value for your +2/+2s. Like, you know, if it buffs your 6-drop, what, you're going to wait 4 turns to use it? So in the arena, it doesn't really have a place. But it's also not like a useless card, right? You're getting stuff. You're getting +2/+2, and you're taking a hit. Maybe you're getting +4/+4, and you're taking 2 hits even. It does stuff. It's just not good. Okay. So besides this, the other D tier card is Merch Seller. I'm try to find where Merch Seller is. Okay, I don't know why I can't find Merch Seller. There we go. Merch Seller is a common neutral card. It is a 4-mana 3/5 Naga. At the end of your turn, put a random spell on the top of your opponent's deck. Like, okay, 4-mana 3/5s are not a thing in this meta. It's like it's too small. It doesn't do anything. The ability better do something. And what does the ability do? It puts a random spell on the top of your opponent's deck. Is a random spell better or worse than your opponent's next card? Unclear. I think overall the value of a random spell is about the same as the value of, like, it's a little bit worse than what your opponent has put on than what your opponent has on their deck, probably. But it just adds a bit more RNG to it. Like, this card, if it were really an arena card, it should be a 4/5 easily. Like, and this ability would barely like move the needle. It would still not be a good card even if it was a 4/5, and it's a 3/5. So yeah. Um the art is also just of a Naga with like gold coins. I don't know. Put some merch in it if it's a merch seller. Okay. Your last D tier card is the One Amalgam Band. That is a legendary card. It is a 7 mana 6/6. It has every single tag because it's an amalgam. Battlecry. Gain a random bonus effect for each minion type you've played this game. The random bonus effects are things like Taunt, Rush, that kind of stuff. Divine Shield. How many minions are you going to play? Minion types are you going to play over the course of the game? I don't know, like 3? Maybe 4? It's random bonuses, so you can't rely on it to rush or have any kind of initiative or to taunt or to do anything. It's just not good. I don't know what else to say about it. Like there's nothing special about this card. I don't know. Maybe there's a constructed deck that plays all sorts of different minion types, and then this thing can no, that doesn't even work. No, I don't know what this card is doing. This is my problem with D tier cards. Like I just don't understand why they exist in either constructed or an arena. All right, we have only 2 more cards left to go. They're both F tier cards. Don't draft them at all ever. They don't do anything. The first one is okay. The first one is Crowd Surfer. Crowd Surfer is a 1 mana 1/1 epic Murloc. Death Rattle. Give any other minion +1/+1 and this Death Rattle. So usually that any other minion is not actually going to be your minion. It's going to be your opponent's minion because your opponent's going to be the one killing this thing, and then they can play minions on their turn and then kill it. If you get to play it on turn 1, it's more favorable to you. But outside of that, this is like actually a negative ability on a 1 mana 1/1. Like it's terrible. After Crowd Surfer, the other useless card that they printed is thankfully another epic card. It's Freebird, 4 mana 2/2 beast with charge. Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each other Freebird you played this game. I don't know. Constructed, there may be ways to generate more Freebirds or copy Freebirds, and then you get a bunch of charging Freebirds. I don't know. They have to have made this card with a deck in mind, right, for Constructed. But if they did that, I don't know why it's neutral. Because it has to be just one deck and one class. Anyway, it doesn't do anything in Arena. 4 mana for a 2/2 charge. That's it. That is all the neutral cards for Festival of Legends. Overall, outside of your top cards that are problematic, Ghost Rider questionably problematic. It's just really the new philosophy with the dev team. But Paparazzi and Concert Promo Drake, they, especially Paparazzi, right? But both Paparazzi and Concert Promo Drake are just, they have problematic written all over them. They are going to ruin metas. Paparazzi will single-handedly destroy all the fun that could possibly exist in Arena. And their offering rates, or Paparazzi's offering rates, definitely will be reduced. Concert Proto Drake, we could be wrong about Concert Proto Drake. I don't think we are, but I'm not. There's a tradable tag that we've given a lot of value to because it's 8 mana. Maybe Finale for 8 mana is uniquely weird. I don't really know. Maybe the pacing of the game just makes high mana cards bad, or maybe there's just not a lot of big minions that's going to be out. Maybe it'll just be maybe the really good cards are all mid-sized minions with abilities, and that makes all destroy a minion cards a lot less good. So I can see Concert Promo Drake not getting as much burn as we think it will, and just kind of settling in into a low A, or questionably we'll allow it kind of thing from the dev team. But Paparazzi has no shot at that. Paparazzi in any meta is going to be not just too powerful, but also toxic. It is bad in the way that it is powerful, and it is just too powerful. It's gotta be removed from the meta. And yeah, but the other cards they do stuff. They're pretty interesting. They're definitely not very vanilla. This is a set of very interesting neutral cards, and they're not interesting in like a new way. They're interesting in we do the same old stuff that neutral cards have always done. We've just like found new ways to do them, which is pretty cool. Um, it's not like this one new mechanic that's like getting all the attention and letting them create a bunch of neutral cards. It's like they got creative and created a bunch of neutral cards, and they're not overpowered, and they like are like slight twists on existing things that make them interesting. So I'm excited. Like I'm excited to play like Rowdy Fan and like Candle Raiser. Um, I'm excited for even stuff like Metronome, right, or like Static Waveform. When you see these things, it's going to be an interesting meta, and not all these interesting things have to be super swingy or super good. So here's the exception. We wish that this card just stops existing as soon as possible. Like offering rate legendary. Why? Because it literally is a legendary card. It's discovering a legendary minion. Like, why would you not give it a legendary offering rate? It's begging for it. So come on, devs. Do the right thing. Make Paparazzi a legendary card for purposes of the arena. And other than that, we'd probably live with the rest of them and not ruin the meta. All right, class cards next. Until then, I want to give a shout out to the patrons. We still have a Patreon. I know we're not doing as much stuff before, so thank you to all the Patreons, Eric L, David D, who stayed on, even as we are producing a bit less content than we normally do. And thank you to everybody else. Any little bit in the Patreon helps, especially if you're just watching YouTube videos or listening to the podcast. So thank you guys. All right, well that's it for the legendaries. We're gonna do classes next. 11 classes. Our job just gets longer and longer. Okay. See you guys then. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.